So can you start by telling us, just start at the beginning, how you first found out about the trial and what the process was that you went through to understand what would be involved?
Hi, everyone. Well, I didn't really have a chance to really be the first person to learn about the trial. I was when I was in the ICU, I had a head injury, so I didn't really know what was going on, and I wasn't very coherent. So my parents first learned about the trial, and I think they had the misconception of thinking that this was actual therapy and that I would have these stem cells injected and I'd get up and start walking. And so once I came to, I'd say a week later, post-injury, the first thing that I was told was that, oh, hey, so there's this trial and you're going to participate in it and, you know, they're going to fix you. And so that was the first thing that I heard. Then as I sort of came out of, you know, that drug haze that I was in, I got to speak to Dr. McKenna and the other doctors at my rehab at Santa Clara Valley, and that's when I learned that it's not, this isn't it, this isn't the therapy, that this is just a phase 1 trial that's aiming at seeing if there's any adverse effects. And that was a little bit disappointing since I had first been told that this was the cure, but I just sort of had to really wrap my head around it and decide whether I wanted to participate in something that wouldn't benefit me.
Did they have any resources available to help you understand, like, did you even know what a phase 1 trial was? Had you heard about phase 1 or 2 or any of that? And did you use the internet? Did you talk to your doctors? What resources were most helpful to you?
Right, I should actually mention that I didn't really even know what stem cells were. I think I'd heard it maybe like just the term itself once or twice, just about the fact that it's controversial and whatnot. I didn't really know what they were, especially embryonic stem cells. And so I did ask a lot of questions. I met with Dr. McKenna several times, and he had to really break it down for me and explain it to me in very simple terms that I could understand, because I mean, this wasn't something that I dealt with in my normal life, and I had to learn all this new medical jargon that I'd never heard of before. And so asking questions and having it explained in the most elementary way possible, that was very, very helpful, and it helped me understand what it was really that I was getting myself into. But also, one of the things that really was reassuring to me and sort of sealed the deal for me was being able to speak to the neurosurgeon who was going to perform the surgery, Dr. Gary Steinberg, just because going through the whole process of signing the consent form, it's stressful enough. So knowing that you're in good hands and the person who's going to perform the surgery knows what they're doing, that's, you know, one thing not to stress over, since everything else is incredibly stressful. But I had a great team behind me, and I went into it fully informed. I did my own research. I had access to a computer, the internet, and I definitely did as much research as I possibly could, even though a lot of what I found I didn't necessarily understand reading it myself, but I tried to ask as many questions as I could so that I would be able to understand what it was that I was consenting to. Mentally, it's a lot to deal with. It's a lot of questions that you ask yourself and you don't know the answers to, because you know, you can't go back and change things. You can't do it differently. But what I have come to come in terms with is that I made the right choice, and if I had to do it all over again, I would probably make the exact same decision that I made a year ago, just because I feel like I'm a part of something that's bigger than me, or bigger than everyone in this room. And so I think for me, mentally, it's put me in a better place that I probably would be right now, just because I have a lot of downtime, I have a lot of time to kind of do the whole self-pity thing, and once that's all over, you know, I think of what I'm fighting for and what I've been a part of, and that sort of keeps me going and helps me push forward.
Is there anything else that, you know, in setting up these clinics, the people here could be sure they're educating people about so that they minimize the amount of regret or disappointment that they go through?
I think one of the main questions that I had even before I signed the consent form was, is this something that's going to either put a stop or slow down my natural recovery? That was something that I asked you several times. I think I asked every single person that I met, because it was important to me, because I didn't want the natural recovery to be halted just because I'm deciding to help the field. And once I really understood my type of injury and how severe it was, and just kind of the statistics of it, that not too many people regain too much function back with the type of injury that I had, I was able to accept it a little bit more. Although, like I said, even later on, months later, I still asked myself if I made the right decision and if I halted any recovery. But ultimately, what I ended up telling myself and what I ended up understanding was that had I gained something back that I don't have right now, I would have maybe been able to move one of my toes. And those aren't things that really have much value to me. They don't add to my quality of life. And so to compare that with what I have instead been a part of, consenting to participating in the trial, it's so much bigger, so much bigger. And like I said, just looking at the bigger picture, moving my big toe isn't as important as having been able to participate in the trial and give something back and hopefully move the field forward.
So I'd like to have everybody thank Amy and Dr. McKenna, and most especially Katie for doing this today.